Good morning, Blue Streak, CP Math students. This morning I'm going to go over the practice quiz from section 9.1 with you and also post the answers written out like I normally do and get you ready for the quiz that you'll take today or tomorrow. It will be due tomorrow, the 16th. So please pay attention, check your work, make sure that you don't make those careless mistakes. Look at your negative signs and that kind of thing, but it shouldn't be too difficult for you. Thanks for your hard work so far. Hope you're doing well, and we'll get started here. So in this one, we have to use the substitution method, and in both of these, y is already isolated. That's the first thing you want to do is get one of the variables isolated to do a substitution problem for these systems of equations. So in this case, y is by itself in both equations. So really all you have to do is set the two x equations equal to each other. All right, so we're going to take this negative x plus 4, which y equals, and I'm going to substitute it in for y over here. So it'll just be negative x plus 4 in place of the y equals the negative 2/3 x plus 3. All right, and then I'm just going to solve for x. So what I'm going to do is take this negative 1x and add it to the right side. And then I'm going to also do two steps here. I'm going to take the negative 3 and subtract it to get it on the left side. Okay? So these two will cancel, and those two will cancel. So we got 4 minus 3, which is 1, and negative 2/3 x plus 1x will be a positive 1/3 x. That's just like 1 minus 2/3 x. So that's what I have so far. So to get x by itself, I got to move that 1/3 back over. Now again, this is multiplication, so you could divide by 1/3, but a lot of times we like to, when we divide by a fraction, we like to multiply by the reciprocal. So that's what I'm going to do. Again, what you do to one side, you do to the other. So 3 over 1 times 1 would be 3 equals my x. Remember, you're only halfway done. You have to find what x equals and what y equals. Okay, so we have to substitute 3 into either one of the equations. It doesn't matter to find y. I'm going to take this 3 and I'm going to move it in for that x. So this would be y equals, and don't forget there's that negative sign, so negative, and then x, which was 3, plus 4, and negative 3 plus 4 is 1. So our answer to this problem is 3 for x and 1 for y. We could have graphed those two and made two lines, and where they would meet would be at that point 3, 1. But we're not doing that method. We're doing substitution. So again, we're going to get one of the variables alone and then substitute for that variable into the other equation. All right, this one is kind of tricky because both of these y's were by themselves. So we just set the two equations equal. All right, here's another substitution one. X plus y equals 4, 2x plus y equals 5. What I told you is to get a variable by itself, one that has no coefficient. So I could get this x by itself, this y, or this y. I wouldn't want to get this x by itself because I'd have to divide by 2 and I'd get some fractions. So we want to try to stay away from the fractions. So I'm just going to get this y on the left alone. So I'm going to subtract x. So that's y equals negative x plus 4. And I'm going to take that, negative x plus 4, And I'm going to substitute it in for y in the other equation. Make sure you go to the other equation. So this equation becomes 2x plus, and then I'm substituting negative x plus 4 in for the y, and then equals 5. And then I'm going to solve this for x. So I got 2x plus a negative x, or negative 1x, which is x. Oops. That's supposed to be a plus sign. Plus 4 equals 5 then. And then just subtract 4. So I get x equals 1. And then I'm going to take that 1 and I'm going to put it in right there, because that's, I want to find y. So I'm going to go y equals, and remember there's a negative there again, so it makes it negative 1 plus 4. So y is 3. So this one, x is 1 and y is 3. So the first one, x was 3 and y was 1. This one, x is 1 and y is 3. Okay, again, substitution. Getting one of the variables alone and substituting into the other equation for that variable. All right, this one is an elimination problem. All right, and in this type of problem, we want to eliminate one of the variables. So I'm looking to get the same number in front of the x's or the same number in front of the y's. It's your choice, but I always like to look for to see if that's already happened. Well, it hasn't. I got a 4 and a 1, a negative 6 and a negative 7. So sometimes you can multiply the top and the bottom by a number to get them the same, or just one of the equations to get them the same. So I'm going to get the x's the same. So all I have to do is multiply the bottom equation by 4, and then my x's will be the same. So when I distribute the 4, I get 4x minus 28. Remember, 4 times 7. And then 4 times 14 is 56. So remember to multiply 4 by everything. And I'm going to take this top equation and put it right underneath so I can see them both together. So I'm just rewriting the top equation under this one. Don't have to do anything to it. Okay. Now, when we eliminate a variable, we either add or subtract the two equations. And what you do is you look at the numbers that are the same. They're both 4. And now look at their signs. They're both positive. So for those to go away, to be eliminated, basically you want them to get 0. To get 0, I have to subtract them. Okay? So we're going to subtract the two equations. When the signs are the same, you subtract. If those signs were opposites, different, then I would add the two equations. So they would eliminate each other. So 4x minus 4x cancel out. They're eliminated. Now I'm going to go negative 28 minus a negative 6. Remember, minus a negative is addition. So negative 28 plus 6 would be negative 22y. And then 56 minus 12 is 44. And then I divide by negative 22 to get y by itself. And 44 divided by negative 22 is a negative 2. Now I have to substitute negative 2 into either equations, other two equations, to figure out my x. Remember, 2 answers to each of these, an x answer and a y. So I'm going to go into the second one there. And I usually go in the original, not ones that I change, but original ones. So I'm going to solve for x. So this will be x minus 7y, which was negative 2, equals 14. And a negative 7 times a negative 2 is a positive 14. and then get x by itself. So subtract the 14. And 14 minus 14 is 0. So the answer to number 3 is 0 for x, negative 2 for y. All right, that's elimination. So let's go to number 4. All right, another elimination problem. Again, I want to eliminate one of the variables. So I want the same number in front of the x's or the y's. And if I look at this, the y's have the same number in front, a positive 1 and a negative 1. So I don't have to multiply either one of these. I can go right ahead and figure out if I have to add or subtract. So I look at the y's. One's a positive 1, one's a negative 1. So the signs are different. When the signs are different, we add the two equations. All right, so 9x plus 6x would be 15x. And positive 1y plus a negative 1y would cancel, eliminate each other. And then 30 plus 15 is 45. And then divide by 15. We get x is 3. Again, we're not finished. We've got to find what y equals. I'm just going to go up in the top one this time. All right, so 9, x is 3, so 9 times 3 plus y equals 30. So that's 27 times 3. And then subtract 27. And 30 minus 27 is also 3. So this answer, 3 for x and 3 for y. Another elimination problem. All right, let's look at number 5. Back to substitution. All right, now I got x plus 3y, 2x plus 6y. So the one I want to get alone is this x because it has no number in front. That's the easiest one to do. So I'm going to subtract 3y. Some of you on your homework, when you subtracted 3y and got x by itself, you forgot to keep it negative. You made it positive, and that messed you up. So I take that, negative 3y plus 6, and I move it or substitute it into the other equation for x. So it's 2 times negative 3y plus 6 plus 6y. My hand's getting tired, sorry. Using the mouse. All right, so that's what it looks like now after I substitute, distribute the 2. So you get negative 6y plus 12 plus 6y equals negative 18. Whoa. All right, well, when I combine like terms here, negative 6y plus 6y, they cancel each other out. No more y's. So I get the 12 equals negative 18. And this will happen sometimes. And we got a false statement here. Since we got a false statement, that means there's no solution to this one. If I would have got a true statement, like 12 equals 12 or negative 18 equals negative 18, we would have called it an identity, basically, and we could say there's an infinite number of solutions. No matter what we pick for x, we could solve for y, and we could find an answer. But this one was a false statement, means no solution, and that could happen once in a while. So be mindful of that. Don't let that mess with you. Okay, one more to do, another elimination problem. All right, so Looking at my x's, I got a 3 and a 1, and I got my y's, I got a 4 and a -5. Again, this one, I only need to multiply the bottom one by 3 to get my x's the same. But if you wanted to make your y's the same, multiply the top by 5 and the bottom by 4 and get 20s for the y's. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. I like to do what takes the least amount of work. So I'm just going to multiply the bottom by 3 and get my x's the same. So that's 3x minus 15y equals -24. Remember, multiply 3 by all of it. And then again, I like to drop the top one right underneath so I can see them together. So that's 3x plus 4y equals -5. And then figure out add or subtract. Both 3's are positive, signs are the same. So we subtract them. So the 3x's cancel. -15 minus 4 is a -19y. And -24 minus a -5 is like adding 5. So -24 plus 5 is -19. And divide by -19 to get y by itself. So y is 1. Again, we got to finish up. I'm going to go into this bottom one. Since I'm looking for x, and that's just got an x, I don't have to do any division then. So x minus 5y, and we learned or figured out that our y was 1 equals -8. Don't forget about your negative signs, which would be x minus 5 equals -8. And then add 5. And x is -3. So -3, 1 is our answer, our solution. So remember, we have systems of equations we're solving. You have 2 methods I want you to do. You have 3 of each type, 3 substitution, 3 elimination. Make sure you use the correct procedure, correct method that I asked you to on your quiz. Okay, I will post the quiz as well this morning, and it is due tomorrow, Thursday, the 16th. And like I said, you guys have been doing a really good job. Make sure you ask questions. A few of you have popped in on the conferences. I have conferences or office hours, whatever you want to call them, for CP on Mondays and Wednesdays from 12:30 to 1, and Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8:30 to 9. So love to see you. Stop in, just say hi. And I hope you're doing well, staying healthy and safe, and do well on this quiz. I miss seeing you guys. Hopefully we'll get back in 1st of May and we can finish up the year in a normal fashion. You guys can have prom and your graduation so that you're all together. But again, don't hesitate to email me if you have any questions and need extra help. I'll help you out the best I can. And have a great day. Look good, feel good. You are good. And also, you either get the bear or the bear gets you. Don't let that bear get you. Have a great day.